I just finished reading The Blacktongue Thief by Christopher Buehlman, and I'm here to give you my quick spoiler-free thoughts on the book and tell you whether you should read it or not. The Blacktongue Thief is about, unsurprisingly, a thief with a black tongue who is on a quest, like you do in fantasy. But the book is really about the voice, the character voice of this thief. It's a very strong voice. It's written from a first-person perspective, and this guy, this thief, he's just constantly cracking jokes. And unlike most fantasy or sci-fi that you read, where if they're constantly cracking jokes, you're just constantly cringing, this was actually clever writing. It was, a little Terry Pratchett, a little, Douglas Adams, not quite to that level and not quite to that extreme, but it was well done. The jokes were actually funny and clever a lot of the time, and I enjoyed, living in this character's head because it was just a fun time. The audiobook was also interesting. It was narrated by the author, who I believe was putting on an accent, which it's an interesting accent to listen to. It's not one that I'm used to listening to. I think he was going for Irish, but I enjoyed it. There was a nice flow to it, and obviously he knew the cadence of the jokes that he wrote. That's all great. If you're interested in that, go ahead and listen to it. That said, it is a very dark book. It's not like lighthearted and fun. It's like very dark with a ton of dark humor, with cleverness added to it, lots of wordplay going on as well. So if you like that sort of thing, then you probably will enjoy this book. The plot is fine. It drives the story enough. There's a destination, get to the destination, do the thing. What's the thing? We'll find out. Is pretty much it. There's no real interesting twists, turns, or surprises for me. It was fine, but it definitely did not engage me plot-wise. The characters were actually pretty interesting. Again, the main character was fully realized and fleshed out and had his own voice and thoughts, and was definitely interesting to live in his head. There were other characters, obviously, in the world that also felt like they had their own distinct personalities and voices. And I felt like they were good characters. I just didn't feel like I spent quite enough time with them to know for sure. I would have loved to have spent more time with the characters because I did really enjoy them, and the dialogue was good. And that kind of leads me to my biggest criticism of the book, which is that there's way too much time spent on action in the book. Again, the plot is fine. The characters are good. The voice, the prose, great. But oh my, so much time is spent on action. We open on action, and then we quickly get to another action, and it's just constant action. It felt like the book was just a series of action scenes with some filler in between with clever wordplay in order to get to the next action scene. And it felt like the author cared most about these action scenes and a lot less about the character and the character's interactions and the plot and all of it. All of that felt like it was rushed, and then the action scenes were like, whoo, let's explore this. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't hate the action scenes. I'm not somebody that tends to enjoy a lot of action because it's often difficult to follow a lot of the time for me, but I did think this was pretty well done. I enjoy the magic system that he has, and the way that the fights played out felt real. I enjoyed all of that, but there was just way too much of it, and it's a decently short book for fantasy, I would say, and it's just way too much action. I needed more other stuff. That's what I needed in this book. Overall, I still enjoyed it. It was a fun time. I would, again, definitely recommend it if you're into just funny, actually witty character voice. Again, the audiobook is something that I would definitely recommend. And if you like action, then you're definitely going to enjoy this, I think. I feel like there's potential here. It's the start of a series, and with more time to explore things that would be potentially more interesting to me, I feel like it could really shine, but we'll see. So those are my thoughts. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I read The Blacktongue Thief here. I've got more to come. If you're interested in more book reviews, whether you should read something or not, just give you a small taste of what it might be like if you do read it. And hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and comments. What have you read this book? What do you think? Would you recommend it? I don't know. Why do I keep saying things that don't make sense? It did make sense. Why am I still talking? Thank you again for joining me here, and I'll see you in the next one.